I'm getting serious about capturing game footage. I have been trying to do an episode called I Wanted to Be the Angry Video Game Nerd. And all of those projects are kind of stopped now. I wanted to be James Newong. I wanted to be Weissman. Fucking hell. The Room. Tommy Wiseau. To get out of the dangerous cult that I was in, it took 5 things. I had to stop wanting to become like the cult leaders. And I didn't understand this at the time. Didn't understand this at the time at all. Had no idea why. I just figured it out. Kind of was working on a book about it. I've scrapped that idea. I know it's weird. Maybe get back to it when all this is over. So, to get out of the dangerous cult that I was in, had to go through 5 phases. I wanted to be the angry video game nerd. I wanted to be the nostalgia critic. I wanted to be this, that, and the other. Even tried to be Linkara, and I live in a country where comics are very non-existent. Bloody expensive, or just thrown in a bin. So that didn't go far. And I wanted to be this, that, and the other. And Tommy Wiseau, James Nguyen, Birdemic 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The Birdemic technology. Imagine that. God, I saw The Room in my country here in New Zealand at an official cinema. My dyslexia is more obvious now that I'm out of the cult than it was while I was in it, because I was just parroting stuff that I was told to say. So that's a new thing. So anyway, so the joke is, so I'm doing now. This is the bump in the road. The history of gaming, as in board games and like board games, not my thing. So the history of gaming, it's gonna have to be the history of role-playing games. It'll be the history of role-playing games in general. RPGs, JRPGs, ARPGs, the history of. And then I can do my fighting fantasy and my Dungeons and Dragons, Forgotten Realms, and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah. So this is the fun part. So in the episode, the history of role-playing games, the opening is going to be the occult drives nerds in their basements down to their knees to worship the devil in all his bloody, ghouly, gory. So, and this is official. This is official. In order to officially create this documentary, which is going to take a year to do, because I have to draw these things. I have to draw demons and Satan and orcs and elves and hobbits. So I'm going to have to learn to draw, and I'm going to have to learn to read sheet music. I can create songs, not a problem, but I've upped the level to 10 by trying to figure out what the hell sheet music is. What is the circle of fifths? What's a quaver? What's a rest? What is all that junk? I've got software. I didn't know this when I started working for this documentary, that I had already a whole bunch of MIDI programs that you have the option of turning it straight into sheet music. Push the record button to start again. So Anvil Studio, you get the free program, comes with certain stuff. If you want the sheet music plugin, it's extra money. But unfortunately, if you go to their website, I mean, it's something I would pay money for, obviously, because I've been using it. Even though I didn't know what it does, I bought it. No, I didn't buy it. I've been using it just to play MIDI files all these years. Like I bought Propeller Head Record. Before Reason came out, it was Record. So I bought that just to edit karaoke files in. And I did that for a decade before I realized what Reason is. It's a DAW. I didn't know what DAWs were. I was in Occult. My mind didn't belong to me. So, due to health problems, Anvil Studio is discontinuing sales for now. You continue to download the free version from our website. This is from 2024. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. August 2024, but the whole suite is available on archive.org. If they come back, I will pay $39 for the sheet music add-on. But anyway, so the musical side of the documentary. So it starts off, the occult draws you in. The longer you play these games, the more demonically possessed you become, until your body is taken over by Satan himself. Dark, boom, boom, boom. Not Jaws music, but boom, boom, boom music. And like a hand coming out of the wall. Coming out of the keyboard. So yeah, the way I came across the Angry Video Game Nerd and the Nostalgic Critic was because I was doing a film degree and went well with that. Couldn't do it's still mentally just unstable. Couldn't do the paperwork, the written work, so they let me off. So I was making films and I wanted to be the Angry Video Game Nerd, and for my yearly rendition, you add putting it in to be marked down for points, whatever the word is, fuck knows. And at the same time I was doing that, some other guy was starting to do the same thing, and his name was the game dude. Yeah, that guy. So it kind of put me off. There was too many AVGN clones happening, and I wanted to be one, and I... This is the joke, though. This is the joke. I didn't know what Nintendo was. I didn't know what Nintendo was. My massive Nintendo collection springs from basically from the Zelda Timeline episode. And in New Zealand, we got Ocarina of Time on the 3DS and Majora's Mask. But because I don't know how I did it. I put one on time payment and I bought one outright. So I played Majora's Mask before I played Ocarina. And so Majora's Mask is my number one all-time Zelda game. Having said that, I'm addicted to my my addiction is Spirit Tracks and the train one. Fuck, Phantom Hourglass. Okay, so my go-tos that I will always play year after year after year: Phantom Hourglass, until I get the gold ship, and then Spirit Tracks. So stupid. Trains is my life, and yet I haven't finished Spirit Tracks once. I'm up to the bit where they're going on the loopy loops, and I stopped playing it a few years back. Yeah, so Spirit Tracks, Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks. And then the yearly one is Majora's Mask first, and then Ocarina. Is there going to be a Switch 2 remake? Who knows? I'm getting off topic, aren't I? It's going to be a very long video. So, I'm doing the history of RPGs. So we're starting with Adventure. So 1976. I'm doing research for the first time in my life. 1976. An adventure game called Colossal Cave Adventure on the mainframe. Something. Then Adventure came out on the Atari 2600, so I did own a 2600, so I've got to play Adventure. It'll be the oldest game that I play. I can't stand Ultima 1, 2 or 3. I can't stand Wolfenstein 1 and 2, but I will play them to capture the footage. But they're not RPGs, but it's not my only project. I'm doing the history of MIDI and the history of synthesizers pre-MIDI, and then this history of synthesizers post-MIDI. Kind of breaking it up into two. Then a history of computers in general, and then the history of music on computers. Computer software, including the Fairlight KMI. I can't remember all the words. I do so much research. My mind is stuffed full of all this. So 1980, Ken Reed in a magazine proposed a database for adventure games. That's in the Quill. I think that's in the Quill manual. So 82, there's a different adventure game on the Acorn Atom, the Acorn Electra, and the BBC Micro. 83, Quill came out, and 87, they added Illustrator. So they're easy to... I'm learning to use them because it's Commodore 64, which is cool. HURG, H-U-R-G, is Spectrum. I can't get a Spectrum emulator running, but I found a guy on YouTube that can get it running through Launchbox. Is that right? Something like that. So I'll follow that tutorial. GAC is Commodore 64? I don't know. I haven't written down the consoles. Poor, Gilsopt 87. So what I've done today is I've added, because of the theme of the documentary, I've added the top albums, heavy metal albums released 80, 81, 82, 83. It's mostly Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, but we'll get there. So that means I have to draw Painkiller. That's what I have to draw, the album covers. Imagine if I could do... So I've got to draw the Power Slave cover. And without... You could just download this onto the computer and draw over it. Cheating. It's not what I'm going to do. This is why it's going to take a year to make this documentary. Power Slave 84. I'm going to draw Eddie. I really am going to draw Eddie. There's just so much that I wasn't allowed to do as a fundamentalist young earth creationist, because Dio was satanic, Ozzy Osbourne was satanic, Rob Halford wasn't gay yet, we hadn't come out, so he was safe. D. Snyder was taken to court for, yeah. Then, obviously, because we're in the time text of writing RPGs, creating RPGs, playing RPGs, I haven't thought of the title to this yet. But, so the overall timeline will be which Star Trek, which Star Wars movie are we in that year. So, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. I think Star Wars is 277. I might find something in 70. I don't know. I'm just beginning the research for this project. So you've got Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3. You've got them all. So when it comes to, if I do this in the order of the years, regardless of which console it was on, got a YouTube video of a guy running an Apple II GS in Launchbox. I can't get Apple II GS running in any emulator. So another one to follow. And I'm finally going to be installing in VirtualBox OSX Snow Leopard. And I will finally make sense of this magazine I picked up for $1. $1. Wow. In 2010. Okay. I don't remember 2010. I've got the CD somewhere. I know I have. I've got the CD. I know from the picture. I haven't thrown it away yet. I've lost a few years because of the religious trauma. I don't know those years, and I'm trying to get them back by doing this project. So anyway, making of RPGs, playing RPGs, creating RPGs, making RPGs. Is Doom an RPG? No. What's an RPG? What isn't? So anyway, so what I did today was, and I'll block the serial number. I installed Diablo, but just Diablo, because I wanted to do this when I bought this a decade ago. I want to play it without the expansion pack, and so I'm going to play it all the way through, and then I'm going to install the expansion pack, which lets me become a bear, I think, and then do that. StarCraft, is that an RPG? StarCraft, I don't know. I don't know what the labels are yet. Warcraft. This is a what? Trial edition. 14-day free, and I've never installed it. I've got them all. Not legally though. So imagine if I go from can't draw anything. I can do a mean SpongeBob. I can do an awesome Bart Simpson, but this, nah, that, nah. So the goal behind this documentary is really more about me becoming. Okay, so 10 talent stories. The church stole all my talents and threw them away. So the whole creative side of my brain has been disassembled, deactivated. And when I'm learning piano and learning to draw and paint, different parts of my brain are clicking like electrical clicks. So I believe that this process I'm getting my brain back. That's the reason behind these documentaries, the history of MIDI, the history of computers, is to get my brain back, because I've owned all these games for 20, 30 years. I've never been able to play them properly because I've never been able to read non-fiction. I can't read non-fiction because we were told what the truth was, and any truth that deviated from it, whether it's an encyclopedia or a dictionary or a phone book, if the church says something and the encyclopedia says something else, then you throw out the encyclopedia. So researching is something new. Evaluating truth is something new. That's the fundamentals behind this documentary. So then we get into the true RPGs. And yeah, I've still got the boxes. So here's the thing. I don't know how I did it, but I saved all my Amiga stuff from the church burnings, and all my Doom, Hexen, Heretic, Rise of the Triad, Return to Castle Wolfenstein. I saved them all from the church burnings by hiding them. Yeah. So I've pulled them all out now, and I'm installing them, and I'm playing all these satanic, demonic things that are supposed to bring demons into your heart and let Satan take over your entire body. Imagine if I could draw something like that. That would be insane. I don't think I should aim that high. If you aim this high from zero, you'll burn out. Maybe the thing that I'm thinking about is having not a South Park version, but some sort of cut down version that I can replicate this, but it will be some stupid sponge or a banana, the same picture. I'm learning Affinity Publisher, so I'm learning how to format pages and stuff. So much to learn now that I'm out of the cult. This isn't mine. I found this in an op shop, so you can have the serial number. When things are taken away by the church, I have a habit of buying multiple copies. My Fighting Fantasy collection, Steve Jackson, Ian Livingstone, my Final Fantasy collection is 3 times the size as the one the church burnt. Because I keep finding the same book but with different covers. So that's the mental health side of trauma, religious trauma. And it is my idea, it's nothing to do with the RPG stuff, but I do want to try and purchase a physical copy of every single Zelda game. I happened to buy Link 3, Link to the Past, on Temu, a fake copy of it. Is the hardest one. Is there a fake copy of Zelda 1 and 2? Don't know. Anyway, so I bought this in an op shop a few months back. Didn't know what it was. Dungeon Keeper. And Dungeon Keeper, the Deeper Dungeons Mission Disc. So the question is, if I can't get these on GOG or Steam, I've got 10 copies of all the Age of Empires games, and it's nothing to do with the church burnings. It's just one of those things. Every time I open an old game up, there's a copy of Age of Empires. That can be part of the documentary. Like all these CDs are falling out of the cases. So, will this run on Windows 10? Is what I'm trying to get to. Will it run on Windows 10? If not, I mean, yeah, doesn't matter. I've got a Windows 98 emulator, PCM. I've got VirtualBox for Windows XP, VirtualBox for Linux Mint, and soon, hopefully, fingers crossed, VirtualBox with, I think I'm going to try Tiger first, because it's an easy, the thing is, it doesn't matter how complicated what I'm trying to do is. If there's a very simple and fun YouTube tutorial on it, then I'm going to do it. If they waffle on and just talk into their boots and you can't follow it, it's just, there's no point in trying to follow it. So, will you buy a Mac? In my dreams, I would have Windows 11, which there's no way I can ever afford to upgrade it. But the thing is, I'm running NES emulators and Amiga emulators and Apple IIe, Apple IIGS emulators, ZX Spectrum emulators, RetroArch, Launchbox. I've got MAME. Is all of that going to just run fine on Windows 11? That's the only question I have. If it does, then eventually, but this is 3-4 years away from now. So the ideal setup would be a PC and a Mac. And it would be ironic if you could run the Macintosh emulator on a Mac and the Apple IIGS emulator on a Mac. So, right, now we're going to get to what this episode is about, and it's been 31 minutes. We're now going to play Diablo 1, and I'm going to try it with the GOG version and then the Battle.net version. I have kept, since the church burning days, I've kept a DVD with thousands of Diablo weapons and rings and armor and all sorts of stuff, plus the Boba Fett trainers, which are still available online, luckily enough. And I think in fact none of my old early Boba Fett editions work with the GOG or the Battle.net version. So I'm going to try that now. This is what this episode is about. Let's go and... oh, we're going to find it first. Give me a minute.